Aesthetic gender, a gender derived from aesthetic, also known as vibe gender. Aether gender, a gender that feels very wide, commanding, breathtaking, and powerful. Affectu gender, a gender affected by mood swing. Agender, having no gender or a lack of gender identity. Alexa gender, gender identity which is fluid between more than one gender, but the individual cannot tell what those genders are. Elusia gender, a gender which is removed from common gender descriptions and guidelines. Ambigender, a feeling of two genders simultaneously but without fluidity or shifting, maybe used synonymously in some cases with bigender. Amergender, a gender that changes depending on who you're in love with. Ambonic, identifying as both man and woman, yet neither at the same time. Amicagender, a gender that changes depending on which friend you're with at the moment. Amorgender, when your gender changes whilst in the presence of an individual to whom you have developed a deep connection for. This could be a romantic attraction, a platonic connection, a spiritual affinity, or anything similar. Androgyne, feeling in between or a combination of man and woman or boy and girl. Anisogender, physically feeling like a certain gender but feeling more comfortable identifying as another. Angeligender, a gender found only among angels that is hard to describe to non-angels, for godkin and angelkin only. Angenitalia, desire to be without primary sexual characteristics without necessarily being genderless. Anogender, a gender which fades in and out but always comes back feeling the same. Anongender, a gender that is unknown to both yourself and others. Antigender, a protein gender which has the potential to be anything but is formless and motionless and therefore does not manifest as any particular gender. Antigender, a gender which can only be described as the opposite of other genders. An anti-boy being the opposite of a boy, also known as ungender. Anxiogender, a gender affected by anxiety. Apagender, a feeling of apathy towards one's gender that causes one to have no desire to look further into it, also known as lethargender, innersgender, and anvisgender. Apkonsugender, a gender in which you know what it isn't, but not what it is, sort of like the gender is hiding itself from you. Apogender, a subset of angender in which you feel not only genderless, but entirely removed from the concept of gender. I feel like what I'm saying isn't even words anymore. Apologender, when you have around 9, can be anywhere from 6 to 10. Different distinct feelings of gender that have combined into one big gender identity. Aporagender, a gender separate from man/boy, woman/girl, and anything in between, while still having a gendered feeling. Aptogender, a gender which feels fitted and secured. Acquired gender, a gender which is fluid between infinite feelings. Sometimes these feelings may be closed to an existing term, and sometimes they are indescribable or abstract, also known as gender flow. Archigender, a gender that is ancient/old and big, and can either only be described with those words, or is correlated with them. Aerigender, switching between non-binary genders while feeling particularly associated with one feeling, also known as airy-fluid. Comgender, to experience gender, polar opposite of agender. Comogender, when you know you aren't cisgendered, but you settle for your assigned gender for the time being, e.g. Como boy or Como girl. Condigender, a gender that only felt under certain circumstances. Cyclogender, a gender identity that changes with one's menstrual cycle. Diamogender, a gender closely related to demons and the supernatural.